Guys, welcome to the Men's Journal Everyday Warrior podcast. We call this rapid fire. We've got a special guest today, Drew Brees, who should need no introduction, but Super Bowl champ, 20 years in the NFL, offensive player multiple times, broke dozens of passing yard records, and now settling into the everyday dad role, which is probably his most important role in life. And Drew, if you didn't know it, you went to the same high school as my wife, Westlake, correct?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. So we are here on B Caves Road in Westlake. We're going to jump right into it, and we're going to start easy, and we'll get a little harder. How do you start your mornings?
Read the Bible and with a cup of coffee.
No kidding. Okay. All right. I said they're easy.
Non-negotiable. That's how the day's starting every day.
I love that word. Okay. So what are your key habits, those things that you do every day besides your routine in the morning?
Well, I love to get some sort of a workout. And now that I'm done playing football, it's actually kind of fun because I get to change that up. You know, that might be going for a hike. That might be mountain biking. That might be just, getting out paddling, stand-up paddle, e-foil, play some pickleball, just whatever I want to do. That's, I have that flexibility now.
And you actually went right into the next question. So it's always interesting. Post-professional career, what are your workout goals and diet look like now?
Yeah, from a diet perspective, I've always tried to take a very common sense diet approach, right? Which is eat things that come out of the ground, or try to eat organic as much as possible. Don't overeat. Eat when I'm hungry, because that's my body telling me, hey, I'm hungry, I need some fuel. But then when it tells you you're full, don't overeat. Pack it up, put it in the fridge, because chances are in 2 hours you're gonna be hungry again, and you could just go ahead and finish it then. Don't eat past 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Try to get at least 7.5 hours of sleep, because that's kind of my rhythm. That's pretty much it right there. That's a very simple diet.
Are you still utilizing a trainer?
Well, my trainer, Todd Durkin, was like my mentor, one of my mentors, and really we're as much peers and just, very good friends as we are, mentor and mentee. But I'd say we still get together, but now we have more life conversations, and fatherhood conversations, as opposed to, get me ready to go out and kick butt on the football field conversations.
And with that, Drew, you spent 20 seasons in the NFL, which is just very few people do that. What type of mindset does it take for someone not only to reach that level, but to stay at that level for so long?
You have to constantly feel like you're chasing something. You have to feel like there still is room for improvement. You are constantly in this race to improve and to stay ahead. I think there's that mentality that once you've reached the top, that everybody's kind of chasing you at that point. But to me, I always wanted to have something that I was chasing, and I was competing against myself more than I was competing against anybody or anything else. And so every off season there was this process. Call it, the season ends in January, February, and then take about a month off just to spend time with family and clear your head and recharge your battery. And then when March came around, it was like, all right, sit down, pen and paper, objectives. Where do I need to get better? How am I going to get there? I circle up with my mentors, which I had 2 of them, Tom House and Todd Durkin. And it's like, all right, here's our objectives. Here's how we get there. Let's get to work.
Ooh, so a little measure what matters and self-reflection. That's I've noticed
every
that's
time.
A common theme amongst high performers like yourself. Hey, so Drew, we live in a social media world where everyone just highlights their successes, not my wife yelling at me and possibly throwing objects from the kitchen at my head. But we believe that failure is just as important as success. In fact, it's part of success. What do you consider to be one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, man. Well, let me give you a different example, because this is like relevant to the last week. So my kids have gotten into skimboarding, right? Which I probably spent no less than 10 hours over the last 3 days at the beach, just watching them skimboard. And I mean, you fall just about every time you skimboard, right? Like if you don't catch it quite right, if the sand catches the board, or all of a sudden, you get a good ride going, but then now you're going to hit the wave and you're going to fall. So literally it's this constant process of fall, get back up, fall, get back up, fall, get back up. And I think as parents, you want to like comfort your kids all the time. You want to try to make things, as I would say easy as possible, but like you want to like streamline it for them, right? And at times it's hard because it's like counterintuitive, but it's like you have to sit back and just let them fail, fail, get back up, fail, get back up, fail, right? I can't tell you like 10 hours of skimboarding, you're literally failing just about every time. And at some point you got to get back up and say, all right, I'm going to try again. But like that has been the greatest thing, because then you watch their progression get better and better and better. And then the confidence grow, right? And they're feeding off each other. They're competing with each other. And I'm like, man, like that's a kind of a microcosm for life right there. Like that's a great life analogy. So that's like, I think what I learn as much from my kids each and every day, just like putting myself in those positions as well.
They almost remind you of certain attributes or principles that, we can learn from those younger from us, and resiliency is a great attribute to build within your children to prepare them for life. All right. So what are those 1 to 3 keys to success, those non-negotiables that you followed throughout your life that usually result in exceptional outcomes?
Yeah. So I think the way that you start your day, I think is something that needs to be an absolute non-negotiable. And, that might be different for everyone. For me, it truly is getting up in the morning, getting a cup of coffee, and just having 20 minutes of quiet time where I can get in the Word, read my Bible, maybe listen to a few encouraging words of one of my spiritual mentors or whatever it might be. But that just lays the foundation for the day. And if that doesn't happen, then I just don't feel right, and so that's why it has become a non-negotiable. This is what I do. This is who I am. And then again, I think that also puts me in the right frame of mind to be the best husband I can be, the best father that I can be, the best, partner I can be, whatever it is that, is kind of the itinerary for the day or the structure for the day. I think it just puts me in a position where I've kind of set my moral compass, for the day. And that's how I'm going to choose to, treat others, interact with others.
Morning affirmations are powerful. So is consistency. I love it. So Drew, when you look back at your life, when all is said and done, in your final moments, how will you determine if you've lived a life of impact and purpose?
Man, that's a good one. You strive for it. You strive for it every day. And that is the, people have asked me so much about retirement and, how's the transition been? And, you can attest to this too, right? With the line of work that you are in, you are so focused on being the very best that you can be at an NFL quarterback, not just from a productivity perspective, but a leadership perspective, and leading others and helping others, and, pulling the team together, pulling different personalities together to accomplish a mission or a goal, or an objective. And so all of a sudden, you step out of that environment. It's like, wow, I've focused so much on success within this realm. What's the next stage or the next chapter look like? And, there's people that have talked about this, and I've heard a lot about this, is kind of going from that path of success to significance, right? And it's how can I take what I've learned, the wisdom, the experiences, now pass that on to others, leave an impact, leave this world a better place, set things up, better for the future, and raise my kids the right way so that they can go out with the same mentality. There's just so much of what I think about now is impact and significance. And there's so much work to be done. And I think that's what motivates me and inspires me every day, is that, man, there's so much need out there. There's so much work that needs to be done. And you can't just go out and accomplish it all at once, So there definitely is like this, you set these objectives and these OKRs, and it's like, all right, let's go, tackle this one task at a time, one challenge at a time.
One step at a time, as we like to say. So Our motto here at the Everyday Warrior is get stuff done, make stuff happen, do it all again tomorrow. So I understand you're working a new campaign with Great Clips, back to school. Tell me why this is so important to you.
Well, this reminds me of when I was a kid and some of the special moments that I had with my dad, right? Which was that getting up early on a Saturday morning and going and getting a haircut together. There's a bonding experience that takes place with that, the drive there, the drive home, sitting in the chair. And especially as you think about back to school, because, look, you come off of a summer and you're excited about going back to school. You're excited about seeing your friends again. At the same time, maybe you're a little bit nervous, did I get bigger? Did I get taller? Are they going to be bigger than me? Am I going to make the team, when we try out for football this year? I'm going to a new school, there's just all these things for, I think, kids, just like the pressures and the challenges. And there was just something about going and getting that haircut, getting ready for school. That was like a confidence boost. It's like, man, I'm going to look good. I'm going to, step into school and, kind of like, be a leader, be the guy, and it's a new year, kind of a thing, and also I think just the bonding experience. So I remember that with my dad, and now I've got 3 boys. And so, to kind of just sit and watch their interactions and be able to have those interactions with them too. Those are special moments.
So weekly haircuts with the boys. That's a habit as well. I love
Haircuts with the boys. I feel like there's one for every occasion too. There's back to school, but then there's like getting ready for the championship game, and like flag football or basketball or something like that. You got to have a fresh cut. There's a lot that goes into that.
Well, Drew, personally, thank you for your time. Thank you for all the entertainment as we were overseas on combat deployments, watching you play. And especially from one professional to another. Thank you for your faith and the fact that you've stood by your principles, man. Highly respect you.